Good day, South Africa. Gather around, because this one is not just juicy, it's explosive and is the kind of political theater that makes House of Cards look like a PG-rated school play. You thought we were in a government of national unity? Try again. Try a government of national gaslighting. And at the center of this slow-burning institutional train wreck is none other than KwaZulu-Natal's Police Commissioner, General Nhlanhla Mkwananzi, a man who dared to speak and is now being silenced by the very people who say they want reform. Let's roll back the tape a little bit. It starts with a bang, not a metaphorical one, a literal tactical press conference. Picture it. Mkwananzi walks in flanked by Mastiff officers, fully geared up like he's about to raid a drunk cartel in Sentoni. But what this man came armed with wasn't bullets. It was evidence. Screenshots, parliamentary records, WhatsApps, all the entries, names, dates, places, all that. And then, boom, he drops bombshells. Senior police officers are sabotaging investigations. Politicians are protecting criminals. A key task team investigating political killings was disbanded. Case files are being misplaced like car keys on a Monday morning. And yet, somehow, he's the problem. Welcome to South Africa, where if you tell the truth too early, you are crazy. And if you tell it too late, you are grandstanding. If you whisper it in parliament, they ignore you. If you scream it on TV, they call you theatrical. Enter Glynnis Breytenbach, a DA parliamentarian who used to be known as the slayer of corruption in NPA days. A legend of integrity, a memoir-writing, court-battling icon. The kind of person who, if she sneezes, Twitter thinks the judiciary has caught her court. She comes out publicly to say Mkwananzi's complaints should have gone to parliament, not to the press. Apparently, press conferences in full battle regalia are inappropriate. Ma'am, with respect, have you seen the SAPS lately? Now, here's the kicker. Mkwananzi did actually go to parliament. On March 5, 2025, he sat in front of the Portfolio Committee on Police and still did tea, not from a plastic cup, but straight from the kettle. And do you know who chaired the committee? It was not some ANC backbencher, not a silent seat warmer. It was Ian Cameron, DA's own police reform poster boy, the guy who tweets about crime in South Africa more than Eskom tweets about Stage 6. Mkwananzi didn't just hint at corruption. He read it out loud, receipts and all, in Parliament. He gave Parliament an opportunity to investigate. He said, and I paraphrase, bad cops are using politicians like human shields. And what happened next? Nothing. No motion, no agency, no follow-up. Parliament took that red-hot testimony and chucked it into the same graveyard where accountability goes to die, right next to Marikanda's unanswered questions and Palapala's invisible dollars. Now here's the real kicker. Parliament didn't just fail to act. They waited. They let the story rot in silence. And then the moment Mkwananzi took it public, they turned on him. Because when the smoke becomes visible to the public, they don't fix the fire. They blame the firemen for shouting too loud. And what was Mkwananzi exposing really? Internal sabotage. Officers deliberately deleting or destroying files. Political interference. Orders coming from the top to reassign or disband task teams mid-investigation. Death threats, Yes, you heard that right. The kind of intimidation tactics reserved for whistleblowers, not criminals. State Capture 2.0. Only this time, it's not just business. It's bullets. He even received shared messages from someone claiming to be a close associate of the Minister of Police, offering cryptic warnings and back-channel information that would make James Bond nervous. Screenshots were shared, OBNCs were leaked, and through it all, Mkwananzi kept saying the same thing. This isn't about me, it's about the system. But the system doesn't like light. You see, when corruption gets comfortable, truth becomes dangerous. And that's where we are. The DA, ANC, and whoever else is sipping quiet wine in Parliament had a chance to act in March. They had a chance to beg a whistleblower before the press conference, before the spectacle, before the bulletproof vest, but they didn't. So now they are acting like the real crime is Mkwananzi's wardrobe. Let's get something clear. You don't need to like the man's style. You don't need to agree with his tone. But if you are more offended by the optics than the accusations, you are the problem. Because institutions don't rot from the bottom. They rot when the top stops listening and starts gaslighting. And now, as the political class unites to vilify Mkwananzi, DA, ANC, and whoever else benefits from the status quo, the real scandal gets buried. We are watching the whistleblower dragged across headlines while the corrupt officials he named are still sitting comfortably at their desks, probably planning the next sabotage. This isn't an isolated incident. This is a mirror of what happens every time someone dares to speak against the machinery. We saw it with whistleblowers at ESCOM. We saw it with the PPE scandals. We saw it with state capture. The common thread: expose corruption and suddenly you become the enemy of order. Ladies and gentlemen, so let's flip the script. If you still believe Mkwananzi is being targeted because he told the truth in the wrong tone, drop a comment below, say yes if you stand with whistleblowers. Say no if you think the suit matters more than the story. Let's put the real question in the comment section, not behind closed doors. Back to Glynnis. She's not new to this. She knows Parliament can be a black hole where reform goes to vanish. She knows committees can be more interested in photo ops than subpoenas. And yet, she stands there and says, he should have used the Parliament. As if she forgot. As if we all forgot. But Mzansi Roast TV didn't forget. We remember. We have the dates, the videos, the Hansard record, and we are not here to play dress-up politics. We are here to call out the hypocrisy of a political elite that only reacts when exposed. And even then, reacts by silencing, not solving. So the next time someone tells you Mkwananzi is unprofessional, ask them, what's more unprofessional? Tactical gear at a press briefing or ignoring corruption in uniform? South Africa doesn't need another commission. We need courage. We need political will. We need to stop punishing the people who dare to scream when everyone else whispers. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the roast for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who still thinks Parliament is where truth goes to win. Spoiler alert, it's often where it goes to die.